What's going on, Reds fans? Welcome back to another exciting edition of Late Night Reds. He's Ben Brown. I'm Skylar Webker. And Ben, we got an eventful week to kind of catch up on. Obviously, this is our first episode after the trade deadline, the the Speedway Series.
Should have been in the
Subway. From after that rain, it should have been in the Subway. Maybe Cincinnati's abandoned Subway. But unfortunately, the Reds dropped the series against the Braves, which is you never want to see. You never want to see them lose to a team with a worse record. Now, give the Braves credit; they're stacked with talent. They have a ton of fringe Hall of Fame players on that team. So it is what it is. But man, you really wish you could see that team. You wish you could see the Reds take care of business against that team, especially as they really need to start catching ground on some teams.
Yeah. It was really kind of, I don't want to say disheartening, but it's one of those things where you're in a perfect opportunity. You got a team there that's struggling. Like they showed a graphic yesterday. Like every pitcher that was on their starting rotation to start the season is on the IL for 60 plus IL days. So the team's beat up. Ronald Acuna got hurt on the Thursday before the series, or the Wednesday before the series starts, so you don't have to deal with him. Now, granted, you used to have Matt Olson and all those other guys, which they're still, like you said, they're very talented. But it's not a team that was like on the rise. Like all Atlanta Braves fans know, this is a super down year for them. So it was perfect time for us to gain some ground, especially after the trade deadline and wanting to make a push. With other teams, adding depth and things like that, and you get a team like Atlanta that's kind of treading water, you really could have pushed them through, and to only get one or two of those, it kind of stinks.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about this Reds team. Like they play great against great teams, and then they play to their competition, and that worries me whenever they do play a Pittsburgh, a Colorado, White Sox, because you're like, man, they're gonna be sloppy. They're gonna not hit. They're just they play to their competition, but then it makes you excited because if they can find a way to sneak in, that's gonna be super exciting and fun to play up to a San Diego, a Milwaukee, a Dodgers, whoever we end up getting lined up with. I think the Dodgers is the first matchup outside the wild card as it stands right now. So,
yeah, if they get to that point, it would be really cool to see because they do play well when they're playing good competition. It's just getting to that point, right? You know what I mean? Like it's getting to that point to where it's an everyday thing where you're playing well and you're doing the right things and you're able to make plays and you're getting timely hitting and it's not just against good teams, but it's against bad teams. It's the consistency that you're looking for. And that's kind of been the Achilles heel of the Reds all year is just a lack of that consistency.
Yeah. And, we kind of saw it in the Speedway Series. They had 10 hits. All of them singles, only were able to get 2 runs, one on, obviously that first inning where it was just sheeting down rain.
Dude, I couldn't believe they played that first inning. I'm looking and I'm sitting there and my wife goes, dude, that's a puddle of water out by second. I'm like, yep, you're right. It is definitely a puddle of water. I couldn't believe it. And I know Major League Baseball is trying to get this thing off the ground, but I was like, dude, at some point you got that's not even baseball. You know what I mean? That's not baseball. But yeah,
when the ball's kicking up water in
right
left field,
it's got a fishtail. You know what I mean? That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, it sucks that. I mean, the pageantry of it all was great. I loved all the promotion and the special uniforms, and everything they did there looked amazing. It looked so fun prior to the game and the rain, but it looked so fun having just the bleacher stands all the way around. That looked so fun, but it didn't sound like from everybody's account. Now, obviously, it's hearsay, but from everybody's account, Bristol was not ready for all of the fans. They weren't ready for all of it.
Yeah, yeah. It's unfortunate because I mean I do feel like Bristol has hosted enough events that it should have been. And I think Major League Baseball, which you can never prepare for what they got there. So like when you're preparing for like a 4-hour event, you bring so much food, you bring so much this, you bring so much that. So you don't expect, you don't expect there being a 3-hour rain delay, but even still, like you're Major League Baseball. Like those are some things that like when you're being a strategist for Major League Baseball, that's got to cross your radar. Like, okay, what happens if we have a rain delay? Do we have enough food? Do we have enough merch? Do we have enough this, that? And from all accounts, like I said, completely hearsay from people that have been there or tweeted or whatever. But like running out of food, running out of drinks, running out of merch, like that stuff for Major League Baseball as a whole should never happen. Like it's just a weird thing to be like, yeah, they ran out of merch. You're like you knew 90,000 people were coming. Like that's what the stadium holds. You sold this many tickets. Like that shouldn't happen. But I mean, then again, you're having an event at a facility that's not yours. I mean, because it's a NASCAR facility, it's not your facility. So you got to ship everything in. You got to do all this stuff. There's a lot of logistics. So there's a good and a bad to it. But you hope that when you do something like that, you don't have those type of circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, and for the running out of food, I mean, they probably did have enough food, but when you're on a 2.5 hour, 3 hour rain delay, like people are going to the commissary, that they're
Yep.
getting food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I agree, serving bunless hot dogs is a war crime, but
Yes. Or cheeseless nachos.
oh yeah, exactly. So it's like they're probably like at slim pickings by the end of that rain delay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, dropping the Speedway Series and a lot of hiccups around the Speedway Series in general. I hope they keep it going. I hope maybe they sub out other teams or find other ways, kind of like the Field of Dreams game. Like that was so fun the first year. The second year, not so much because the Reds were in it and it was a terrible game. But outside of that, like we had the trade deadline this past week, and the Reds made moves. Now, everybody can get in the comments and let us know, but I'm sure they're not everybody's favorite moves that they made. The big additions were Ke'Bryan Hayes from the Pirates to come in and play third base. Zach, I will never be able to say his last name right because I always want to say Little. I think it's Lytle. Coming from the Rays. And then Miguel Andujar coming from the A's to kind of be that lefty masher that this team needed. Me personally, I like the Lytle and the Miguel Andujar moves. I don't like that the rentals, but I really like the Ke'Bryan Hayes piece because I think you could make an argument. There's always the change of scenery, guys, and the change of scenery could do guys good. I think anybody getting out from the Pittsburgh system is a good change of scenery for whoever it is. Like, look how far this guy got with no player development, no coaching staff, or a revolving door of a coaching staff, a revolving door of a front office, a team with no direction. I mean, all the cases that we talked about with Luis Robert and the White Sox. So I think he's a good candidate to like really be an actual baseball player outside of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I do like the moves that we made. you know, we talked about possibly bringing in a veteran presence. We talked about bringing in that middle of the lineup masher. But I do feel like and people won't feel like this now, but I do feel like we got better. Um, and and you won't see it until it's completely finished. Like once the Reds decide whoever they're gonna if Littell is a starter, then when whoever they decide is going to be the reliever or go into the bullpen, and then you get a Hunter Green back, and then you put Andujar in the middle of the lineup, and then you've got Brian Hayes. Like it's gonna take a minute for it to kind of shake out, but I do feel like they were key moves to make us better. I do feel like there were guys there that where now you've got a little bit of flexibility where if you want to, you can move a Nick Martinez to the bullpen or albeit Chase Burns maybe goes to the bull. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but at least gives you a little bit of flexibility to be able to make some moves inside of your roster. Now, prototypical Red fans and people that you talk about, like talk around the town, like it's so the Reds, right? Like this is what the Reds do. Like they're not going to break the bank. They're not going to go overboard, but they are going to try to make some pieces kind of work to kind of get where they feel like they're going to get better. I would have loved to see them go out and get another reliever. I would have loved to see him go out and got another veteran guy. But like we talked about before, nothing in Crawl's history says that they're going to go out and get a big money rental. Nothing in their history says they're going to go out and get a big money arm. Nothing in their history says they're going to go out and do things that are going to cost them a whole lot of prospects in the long run. Like from the history of Nick Crawl and the GM in the front office, like nothing in their history says they're going to do that. So for what the history shows us, they did exactly what we thought they were going to do. So I am okay with that because that's what falls into what their history says. Do I think it's going to be enough? I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully you get Hunter Green back. You can move somebody to the bullpen. You add as a starter. By statistics, you got a whole lot better on your infield with Brian Hayes because of his defensive presence. Pushing Noelvi Marte to the outfield, is that a permanent move? Listen, I mean, you can tell me that he looks athletic catching batting practice balls all you want. Like when real things are flying, like it's a different animal. So, that part of it I wasn't happy about because I think they feel like that's the move they're going to make, and that's going to make the whole outfield thing better, and that's a little bit disappointing.
I agree. I don't like the mixed messaging that we got from Kroll about we got Brian Hayes because defense is important and defense wins games. And then you throw Marte out in right field, a position that he's never played.
Correct.
Like you're just saying, go figure it out.
Yep.
So I don't like the mixed messaging around defense is important. That's why we got Brian Hayes. But then now you're just going to let right field suffer. And I'm not saying it will or anything. Noelvi Marte might be fine out there. But it's just the mixed messaging around it. And then Joey Gaditsa, our friend up north, puts in here, not to be a naysayer, but they don't have consistent thump. And I would agree because I think Andujar is really against lefties. He crushes left-handed pitching. Yeah. So I'd like to middle of the order guy every day, middle of the order guy. Mm-hmm. But I think one piece that I like about specifically the Brian Hayes thing is the team control. He is they see him as a core piece to this team because his contract goes to when everybody else's contract goes to, which is at least 2029.
You guys going to say 2029?
Yeah, so TJ Friedel's here till 2029. McLean, Steer, Ellie, the whole core, Hunter Green, Abbott, Lodolo. Like, I can go on and on and on, but like that core group of players, they got Key Brian Hayes, whose timeline is that as well. So they see him as a core piece to this team right now. And for better or for worse, I mean, look, he's got more hits today or since being a Red and probably most of the time in his Pirates career. On top of the stellar defense and anything like that. So we'll see how much that works out. I do love the defense of the infield. I mean, him, Ellie, McLean, and Steer can pick it at first.
Tell you what, Steer's making himself into a Gold Glove first baseman.
He's looking like it.
Man, he's been impressive.
So I love the defensive aspect of the infield. We'll see if the hitting comes around. And, you know, they're not asking him, hey, you got to be Eugenio Suarez hitting here. They're just saying, don't ground out. That's really it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's not about, you know, for them, you know, I think they see it as not about being overly powerful, but yeah, don't create more outs than what you can. You know what I mean? Like it's a message that they've been trying to send all along. Like they want to be a hit and run type team. You know, don't be a guy that creates outs and fly ball outs and things like that. They want to be able to hit, run, get on the base and kind of hit and run guys across and do what they need to do. So it plays to the messaging of what they've shown on the field.
And that's Chris Valleca's the hitting coach's approach. Like, slap the ball everywhere. Don't have to swing for the fences. We don't need you to hit 3-run tanks, even though he did. And that I think he's got one home run as a Red, which is still half of what he did in Pittsburgh. But if you look at his Baseball Savant page, he is in the top third of the league in squared up percentage. So he squares the ball up. So I think getting a good hitting coach whose approach is square it up and spray it everywhere across the field, I think that's really going to help the kid.
Oh, no, I agree. I like you said, the biggest thing about getting him is a change of scenery. Like it's getting guys around him that are young like him and hungry like him and want to win. And getting him around quality coaching and quality you know, training and things like that that'll make him a better player. So I do like that young core. That infield is phenomenal, especially defensively, and they'll also be really good as far as once they put the batting with it, and they will. I mean, you know, Spencer Steer I think is coming. You know, he's there. Matt McLean is there. Ellie's there. So I mean, it'll come. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I think so. It does leave a question though on what are their plans for Sal Stewart, who's third baseman up in AAA, crushing AAA. So everybody expects him to either get that, you know, September call up for a cup of coffee or break with the team next year. Where are you putting him? Because right now, the only everyday position you have is left field for next year.
Yep. Left field. I mean, honestly, who knows, man? You would hope that they've marked that plan out before they made this move. You would hope that's something that they have discussed within the organization of what they're going to do, because like you said, within the next year or so, that guy's going to be on the major league roster. So it's trying to figure out what you're going to do with him once he get up there, especially now that you have Key Brian Hayes. So that's a good question. I don't know what they'll do because, you know, I hope it's not one of those things. Well, he's our future left fielder. Like I don't know. Like, but you just don't know. Um you're just not. I'm not sure what they'll do. Or will they move him to first and put Steer back out? Who knows?
No.
But I was going to say, I hope not, because Steer, like I said, Steer has worked himself into being a Gold Glove type first baseman. So I don't know what you do. That's a good question. It'll be interesting to see how they.
That's really the two options: is somebody DHs,
Yeah,
or left field. I mean,
yeah,
that, like I just said, this core, if this is their core that they're running with, everybody's got a position now until 2029. Those are the only two positions open on this team. So it's either they shift them out to left field or DH, which I don't know. Maybe don't want him as a DH. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you want his bat in the lineup, so it might be worth it. But and you got CES, who, or Hines. I think you got a little bit of trade chips around that you could go get somebody. But the other key piece around why I think the key Brian Hayes piece and adding to this core is important is that it tells me that they're preparing for an impending lockout. They got 2 rentals that are done at the end of this season, and one guy extended far beyond the lockout. So I think they're preparing for a lockout.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense because of what they've done. Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. I would agree with that.
Because right now the people earmarked to leave: Pagan, Martinez, Austin Hayes, which it's going to be a confusing next couple of months. Hayes and Hayes.
Yeah.
Austin Hayes, and then Lytle. Those are it. Those are really your guys leaving. And Barlow, which, I mean, that's that minimum contract, so it's not a big loss. But so, I mean, mostly arms and one position player are set to be off the books next year. So like a majority of this team is going to stay intact past the lockout. So that's why I like the Hayes approach around it. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about, whatever it may be. So I like Pat Maguch's comment here. I feel like they'll trade Fraley or Lux this offseason. It's a good chance. Or Benson, which we've seen that Tito, for some reason, does not like Will Benson.
Yeah, he's not a fan.
I don't get it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's not great in the clubhouse, or I don't know. Maybe just guys don't get along. But I don't know. After his home run comments, like Will Benson hits a home run, they asked Tito about it, and he's like, "Well, yeah, I want everybody to succeed, not just Will Benson." It's like,
you're like, that doesn't sound good at all. Yeah,
I don't get it.
I don't know what his thing is with Will Benson.
So that's, I guess, outside of just what the Reds did on the trade deadline, obviously the big news is the Padres unloading anything that wasn't bolted down to the floor. I mean, they would have gotten rid of the metalsmithing building if it wasn't attached to their ballpark. My Lord.
Yeah, dude. They everything must go out the the ultimate yard sale. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there.
They got rid of their 1, 3, 4, 6, 9, 11, 12, 16th prospects. They unloaded.
That's
all of them.
Jeez, oh Pete. That's like opposite the Reds. You know what I mean? Like they're like, prospects, who needs them? like we hoard them. They're like,
And I'll have to pull up their Spo track to see what contracts they have next season. But a couple of those guys were not are rentals.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was a push all the chips in. And hey, if they have the front office willing to do that, and the GM that's quite frankly ballsy enough to do that, then then more power to them. They think that they can catch the Dodgers. I don't think they're playing for the wild card. I think their eyes are set on LA.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Here's the thing: is with a team like San Diego, with all the money that you've invested just in Machado and Tatis alone, all the money you put in on that roster, like you're expected to be in the playoffs. So when you're not, you're as a GM in a front office, like it's anything goes, right? Like they're like, we've got to make some kind of moves in order to get us in the top of that division. So whether it's move prospects, which they did, whether it's go out and get guys as rentals, which they did, they're going to do whatever they have to do in order to catch the Dodgers and get into the playoffs, because that's how that team operates. Like they went out and spent a whole boatload of money a couple years ago. It floundered. They didn't do well. And then now they're almost in that same boat where you're still chasing the Dodgers. You're still fighting for a wild card spot. And instead of just saying, well, we'll just sit pat and believe in what we have, like, man, they're like, we're not going to make that same mistake twice. We're going to go out and trade prospects. We're going to go get guys, and we're going to go try and win and beat the Dodgers and win that division.
I mean, yeah, good on them. I mean, right now I'm looking at their roster for next year. They have 14 players that have contracts. So like that's a lot. It's a lot of team you still got to fill out. About half.
Yeah.
So, and look, they got the money to do it. They're what, 8th in payroll? Yeah, they're 8th in payroll this year. Yeah. So I mean, they got the money to do it. They can spend their money however they want. And maybe this is the small market plan, but even if I had a big market team, it feels it feels like I'm not going to be here next year, so this will be somebody else's mess to clean up.
It's the old it's the old Magic Johnson. I'm not going to be here, so
exactly.
You know what I mean? So whatever mess is made, like they can clean it up and figure it out. So, but yeah, it definitely feels unsustainable. And it feels like it's something where they were just like, man, we're just going to push all the chips in because it won't be. Because if we don't succeed, we ain't going to be here anyway. So let's just do what we can to get what's done, and we'll go from there and figure it out from there. So I think that's what it was, man. They've pushed all their chips in, which, like you said, to their credit, good for them. Like, you've got the money to do that. You've got prospects to do that. By all means, go ahead and push all your chips into the middle of the table and go for it. But yeah, it definitely feels like yeah, this will not be my mess next year to clean up. So let's go for it now and figure out they can figure out the rest next year.
And that maybe that's what they're banking on, is with the lockout. Like, let's go all in before this lockout, because there'll be a salary cap or different CBA rules that we'll have to abide by. I think that might be more their approach of, let's just go all in now before we have to play under these new rules. Which, I mean, I don't hate that as a fan of it. Not even that team. Like, as a fan of the game, that's what the Dodgers did. That's why they signed all those guys, is because they want to get grandfathered into whatever the CBA is about to be.
Yep, it makes sense. I mean, it definitely makes sense because, like you said, like they want to be ready for whatever is coming down the road, whether it's new rules, whether it's new regulations, whether it's new money, whether it's new CBA, whatever the case may be. Like, they want to be ready for it, and good for them for going ahead and making that happen and not letting stuff happen to them. So they went ahead and just push it all in to make it work. And like you said, figure it out next year. And the, to their credit, like, they know that if things aren't the same, well, at least we've got something set now that works for us now.
And Joey puts in here, with the money coming off the books next season, which is a significant amount because of the qualifying offer that Nick Martinez picked up, You'd like to see him invest into a power hitting outfielder. I do agree that the lockout might prevent that. I think the Castellanis are scared money. Honestly,
Oh yeah.
they don't want to put money in with the risk, just like COVID, how they got burned with, they
Yeah.
couldn't put butts in seats, so they didn't get a lot of the stadium money. I think that they probably take that same approach. I
Hmm.
agree. I think they have the resources to A, get one as far as money, and B, prospects that you don't have as many spots on the field for all these guys to play. So I think you have the prospects to go trade for somebody that,
Hmm.
because we've seen this Reds team doesn't have the best track record with free agents,
Yeah.
but they do very well when they trade for a guy.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think that it's an opportunity to reevaluate how you do things, right? Like it's definitely giving you the opportunity to do that and make make use of your prospects, make use of the money, make use of the things that you have that are of value that can make your team better, and not just sit on your hands, you know what I mean, and not do anything about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see who would be available. I guess maybe free agency next year. Um, so give me 1 sec while I do that. Outfielder. So I mean, some of the names that come up, none of them are real great. Maybe a Mike Yastrzemski. Kyle Tucker would be if Cubs aren't able to get an extension or anything like that. Kyle Tucker would be a great ad. Kyle Schwarber would be a great ad.
Hmm.
Um,
I bet you Schwarber would want to come home too.
hey, did you know he's from Middletown?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You already know.
Old Tom Brenneman that'll never leave my mind. Anytime he's like, "Oh, did you know he was from Middletown?" Yeah, because you've said it every
And
time he's come up to bat in this series.
you you you've said it every time.
Like you don't know anything else about the guy.
That's hilarious.
But the so outside of the Padres being gunslingers, I think if you focus on the division, the Cubs really didn't do much, and the
Mhm.
Brewers like anything.
Mm-mm.
I think you have an opportunity to catch them. You
Mhm.
have, coming up, there's a series against the Cubs, series against the Pirates, series against the Brewers, and series against the Phillies, and then series against the Brewers. So that's a lot of in division games. I mean, and taking those guys, or winning those series, especially against the
Mhm.
Cubs and against the Brewers, that double helps you because you're winning games to stay on the Padres' heels, but then you're also knocking these guys down in your division to catch. So, I look, for whatever reason those two teams didn't make any significant
Mhm.
moves. I think you gotta stay in that race with them, and not let this division be a two-teamed race, I should say.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that there are several things that have to happen in order for them to make a push. Because here's the thing, like we talked about this already. I do feel like they got better by the moves they made. I really do.
Mhm.
I think they did get better. The the thing that they will need is, your starting pitchers have done well. You're going to need to get Hunter Green back. You're going to have to decide who's going into the bullpen to bolster your bullpen. Who's one of those starters, whether it be Burns, Martinez, whatever the case may be. I don't know. Um, and then you've got to decide your lineup and how you're going to attack these division games, because the way we've been attacking them hasn't worked this year. So
Mhm.
I don't know if it's moving guys around. I don't know if with adding Key Brian Hayes and he's and Aguilar and to the lineup helps, Um, but something has to change because playing these division teams and not winning these games has already affected us so far. And we've got a good run now to be able to catch up on these division teams after making these moves and making it more effective. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping there's a push by the club to go ahead and make things happen now, because this is going to tell you whether we're going to be in it or not. This next, week, 2 week run or spread of games is going to tell us like, hey, are we in it, or are we going ahead and we're waiting until the season's over and we're going to try to do something with it. So this is a big stretch of games for them, especially with making the trades and having these guys officially available for you going into the stretch. This will be the time where we'll be able to tell if that was something good or it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I think I don't want to say they need sweeps, but if you can sweep the Cubs and sweep the Brewers, that helps tremendously in every aspect. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
cut your division games back by half, and you stay right on you put the pressure on San Diego that they have to make sweep. They have to
Yeah.
sweep. Will
And
they? We'll
I
see.
don't think San Diego's overly confident in what they have. Like they made moves, but it wasn't like I don't feel like they feel like it's going to be something where they can, like, it was a positive reaction. Like I just don't feel like they've got that going for them. I don't feel like they're going in a good direction.
Mm.
So you know of the teams that have an opportunity to catch up in the division, I think the Reds are the best one in the Central, because I still don't think NL Central is great, comparatively speaking. And the moves that we've made, once we get healthy and we were able to get guys settled, I think that we put ourselves in a good spot to be able to go and try to win this division.
Hey, I agree. And kind of a note on we all know that this organization, for some reason, they idolize what Tampa does.
Mhm.
Tampa's the bottom of the league in payroll and still competitive every year because they drafted and developed super well. They idolize those early 2000s Oakland A's teams, the Moneyball teams.
Mhm.
But look, I think that they should be like the Milwaukee Brewers.
Mhm.
And look, Milwaukee never makes trades at the deadline.
Mhm.
Hardly ever. And if they do, they're sending guys out. But they're able to stay competitive. They make smart moves. Like when they traded for Willie Adames, they gave up nothing for him, and he was a superstar for them.
Yeah.
And to be honest, Milwaukee has what the biggest pain point about Nick Kroll. They're not afraid to look dumb on a trade where Nick Kroll is petrified that he'll
Mhm.
look dumb. I had to pull it up. Josh Hader was electric for them, the closer forever. They traded him off to San Diego. I looked. None of the guys that they got in that trade are on their active roster right now.
Oh, wow.
So, like, they don't care that they look dumb and stuff, but they make these moves and trades, and like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to them, and
Mhm.
they still stay successful every year. The only guy that they're paying over $20 million is Christian Yelich.
Mhm.
That's it.
Crazy. That's crazy. Like, yeah, and I don't know where the disconnect is, because um like we should be in that spot.
Yeah, they're a smaller market than us.
Yeah, like we should be in that spot. And I can't figure out why we're not. Like we've got young talent. We've got a pitching staff that's coming along. Um, but we just can't find the consistency. I don't know where the consistency comes from day in and day out to be able to put a quality effort out day in and day out to be able to win series and win games it's string games, string winning streaks along and things like that. And people talk about, not having a veteran presence and not having, but at the end of the day, these guys are all Major League Baseball players. Like they're all guys that go in and they're professional about what they do. But for some reason they can't string along that consistency to do it series after series after series. And I don't know what the difference is between them and the Brewers, who have, like you said, have a smaller market, have less known guys, but year in and year out consistently are at the top of the division fighting for a divisional championship.
And the only answer I have is it comes from the organization, because for years they had Craig Counsell, who's a great manager. They haven't had Craig Counsell in the past 2 years. They've had Pat Murphy, and they haven't missed a step in where they are. So it's organizational messaging, it's organizational just attitude around it, like the team and the family of the team care, versus all of the things that the Castellinis fail to do. They run the team like a nonprofit, which is not true at all. That I know. I was on the show when those comments were made, but those comments really pissed me off because no, you don't. If you did, you would spend every single dollar you could. And B, we don't want you to run the team like a nonprofit. We want the team to make money.
Yes.
We want to go to a ballpark. We want to win. We want you, Castellini family, to make money.
Plain and simple.
But the way you're going to do that is if you you invest in this team more than your throwaway, contracts every year, like Austin Hayes or anything like that. Like, and look, maybe they're trying to stockpile on cash to extend Ellie. We'll see. I mean, that's a long, long way away, but we saw for all of Joey Votto's career, they did nothing for the guy. And you hate to see that repeated behavior. Rant.
Oh no. That's the absolute truth, man. Like we watched for years them waste the talent of Joey Votto by giving him little to nothing, and not building a sustainable roster around him that can go out and compete year after year after year. And unfortunately for him, like, he's tied to this organization of mediocrity, and he was a freaking tremendous player. So it's, you get a guy, you have another generational talent like Ellie De La Cruz, and you're still not vesting. You know what I mean? You're not investing in what you have, and you're telling us you have this young core, and you're telling us you have this, that, and the other, and you got guys like Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo, Chase Burns, all these guys that you got, and you're not investing in it. Like, it's like you said, they're running like a nonprofit. But it's not. But that statement's not true. But it's just so crazy to me. It's so crazy to me to watch a team like the Brewers or the Rays when the Rays have success. Like, teams that don't do it, but they do it. Their organizations are built in a way where the team can have success, and everybody wins because the fans are in it. They come to games. They do all the things that they're supposed to do, and we can't figure that out.
And again, I think it's organizational messaging. I also think a part of it is Nick Kroll with look, these other GMs are not afraid to make moves and look dumb or hug onto certain players. They're not afraid to do that, where Nick Kroll is petrified that he's going to look like the buffoon, that he's going to look terrible and unsmart or lose out on some great prospect. And none of these other teams are doing that. Look at Cleveland. Cleveland does it great. They're always competitive, always in the playoffs. And they traded away Junior Caminero, whoever in third base for Tampa Bay right now, their star player. And you ask Chris Antonetti, he goes, "Yeah, it was a bad trade. Terrible trade. Should never." You will never hear those words from Nick Kroll. ever.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, it's just not good. I mean, it's really just not good at all. So I I'm hoping that with the moves that we made that we can make a run. Um, and once we get everybody back and the lineup's the way it's supposed to be and everything's set, that we can make a run at this division because I mean, the team that we have is good enough to win the Central. We just got to put some consistent efforts into it day in and day out, series after series, so we can put some wins together.
And I agree with that. I think this team has plenty of talent. I think they can get it done. We've seen that they play up in competition. But I think they can get it done because that's the Tito special. He knows how to close a baseball season. He knows how to close a year. So I think for those reasons, I love having that Tito as the manager, and I love that, and I think they can get it done. I really do. But like you said, we got to see consistency out of all of this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it's seeing that consistency. It's seeing them do it, day in, day out, and put wins together, and try to make a run at this division because, like you said, the other teams in our division didn't make moves. We're able to make moves, get some guys together, and be able to do some things to where we can make a run at this thing.
No doubt. So for that, we're going to go ahead and hop on out of here. If anyone's planning to go down to the ballpark or catch a game for the rest of the season, see the Reds make that push, we encourage you to use our code Riverfront and get $20 off your first purchase through SeatGeek. That's our code Riverfront. We encourage everybody to join our ever-growing family of Cincinnati sports fans on Patreon. It's patreon.com/RiverfrontCincy. You can also give us a subscription on YouTube and catch the latest releases, not just from our show, but from the Riverfront Red Show and from Welcome to the Jungle. It's also just the nicest form of social media because we're all in a Slack group. We all chat about anything that goes on, and not political, not malicious. It's just good, wholesome Cincinnati sports fans. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and please go subscribe to the audio version of this podcast on any of the platforms. We're on them all. Give us the rating and review, and tell us what you want to hear. I mean, we're just Reds fans trying to put on a good show for others Reds fans. So any feedback is much appreciated. So for that, he's Ben Brown. I'm Skylar Wecker. Go Reds.